Hello. Thank you for being here. You're it. You are the big shebang. You are everything that is ever will be and ever will come. You are the Holy Grail. Now, what does this mean? Hello, my name is Muriel, and I also go as Amu, and I channel my higher self and translate the frequencies into words here and also through books. And I have, several on Amazon. I also just wrote and published a book called Walking the Path of Least Resistance, which is, this video is supplement for and many of the videos in this series. And you can visit me on my website right here in the description. And there's also the link that you can go on Amazon Author Central and see what I'm all about, and go and check out some of those books. And they're available in ebook, paperback, and hardcover. And also thank you for subscribing to the channel here and liking the video. That also helps other people find the video and possibly comment in the section how it influences you, and that also helps other people see the impact. So to get into this here, I was going to title this, "There are no battles when you're in alignment." But just a few moments ago, it switched to, "You are the Holy Grail." And the Holy Grail is that, the almighty knowing scroll or something, that a treasure of out there. And if you find it, then you'll have the knowledge of all that is. And that's in the self. Of all the teachings that have ever been taught, that has ever been taught since the dawn of man, since the fall of consciousness, which we have in our hands now. And we're able to express this, what was used to be the forbidden or the hidden knowledge, that you are the big shebang. You are God. Also, you can drop off also, depending on how you want to word it, the kingdom was within. And this is what Yeshua, many ascended masters have come and gone, left much wisdom. The old boy, Latsu, wrote the book for us and gave us, that stands the test of time. It's not just one Holy Grail, and if you find it, then it'll give you this information, that which you find outside yourself. No. What's being said here is that there's no battle for what is perceived to be the truth. Because when you look at what truth is, that is an individual happening, accordingly to what you're doing within your own kingdom within. And all of that which we want to find answers to is within the self. How do you do that? You get into alignment. What is alignment? You feel good. Your frequency, you're a vibrational being. Your feelings matter. And this is what we're talking about in the Walking the Path of Least Resistance, is there's no law of assertion. There's only law of attraction. And it is a feminine movement, not female, like the woman feminine. No, a feminine movement, again, repeated it over and over again, is the inner movement to experience. And the outer movement is the masculine. And we're all have masculine and feminine. Some of us are in a female body and some of us are in a masculine body. And so, but it's all inside of you. You're having a human experience. And it's cool here because you're seeing how you are doing it. You're seeing the manifestations start showing up. The more and more you become and stay in alignment, you can't always, because you get, again, that's part of this realm, is that full of contrast. It will knock you off and you'll have reactions, and that's all part of this place. But through knowing what makes up the dynamics, and this is the Holy Grail, is that then you can live this abundant life. And when we say abundant life, if you say you're new to this and you're listening to this video for the first time, when we say abundant life, it doesn't mean this extraordinary, like you have a castle and you have servants and you have, endless amounts of money and you have like this extraordinary super life. Well, yes, but no, that is up to you. Abundance is who you are. We are co-creators, eternal co-creators. No beginning, no end. We're occupying this vehicle for just a short time, and then we're awakened within the dream, and then we can understand that we have the capability to consciously meander here accordingly to the laws that is here, which is, which is the grand law of creation, and you cannot destroy matter, you can only create it. and the law of attraction, that whichever you're doing within your mind and with your emotions, that comes to you. When you're going at something to manifest, if you stay too focused on it, that's also muddling up the energy. So there's a certain walk, and it's very simple. When we say get into alignment and there's no battles, well, yeah, because if you're in alignment with yourself, that means that you don't have to battle to be understood. You don't have to battle for your position or space within the community, within yourself first, and then the community at large. I had someone come to me recently and ask me, Muriel, do you battle for your teachings? And I would answer that saying, well, if I was battling, then I wouldn't be in alignment, so then I wouldn't be teaching. And that wouldn't be the proper way of teaching because I'm not in alignment. So it's very simple. Alignment is you feel good. If you're feeling good, you know you're in alignment. If you're not feeling good, then you're just off from what your higher self always has in store for you. And then you stop and you see where you're going with yourself. Where is your thoughts going? Because they charge more and more vibrations that match that thought. So it's if a negative thought, it's going to match more and more negative thoughts to it, then it match more to that, and then you're down a long road of that. A lot of energy that's charging an emotion. Thoughts are electrical and emotions are magnetic. So thoughts, your brain can't feel. If you can't figure out the answer, it makes you feel. And by doing that, it draws that to you. So if we stay too long in a certain mode of thinking that's not serving us, which is putting us out of alignment, then that's drawing us to us. So that's when we can get what we don't want. Sometimes we get what we don't want, and that's how that occurs. So by this, you're consciously seeing from a moment to moment, daily basis, as the best of your ability to see where you are focusing your thoughts on. This is a most powerful act because you are becoming a sovereign being, walking the path of least resistance, walking a path without battling for your existence, without battling another person to get your point across, without any kind of resistance. If there is resistance, it's there to show you something. That's why it's always said, whatever is presenting itself for a reason. There's something there. You look at it, you stay with it for a little bit. Maybe you didn't get it right away. That's okay. Just carry on with yourself. Again, it's overanalyzing, getting too mental. You get down into your body, and this is where we throw the meditation into it on a daily practice, the best of your ability, maybe 3 days a week. What you're doing is that you're retraining yourself to move in more of that feeling mode, and that feeling mode is the way that you can sense around and life and what is in your sphere that you want. It could be right under your nose, but if you're too much in your mind and you're on to something else going, even saying it's not in your sphere, and you're stuck on going, it's not here yet, it's not here yet, it's not here yet, and you're going into fear going, when is this going to happen? Well, then you are locked into a reality of this circular loop of it's not going to happen. And you bring that into this thing we call tomorrow. And tomorrow doesn't exist. Wording, it's all about wording, but it's true, is that as soon as tomorrow comes, it's today. So today is, in fact, this moment is all we have. But the moment changes. The moment does end, and then a new one joins it, but it strings it along, and it becomes really essentially your experience here in this dimension called your life. All the teachings and all the masters that have ever come have all said one thing, and this is the Holy Grail, that you're it. And it's such a lovely, wonderful heart feeling to go, wow, when I breathe in, I know that I'm it. But if I'm in this mode of confusion and I'm listening to this for the first time, or I'm walking on this path for the first time, I'm now just in observation mode. I know that I'm in reception mode, that I'm able to receive at this point. And when you're in reception mode, that's kind of a non-doing. It's a non-effort. It's a type of allowing and sitting back and allowing things and observing and then choosing and acting. It's a different way of being. It's trusting that you don't have to sometimes act right away. Sometimes you do, but you know you do because you'll feel it. What is alignment when you're in it? You'll know because you'll feel good. You can't say it enough. It is really simple. If you were to shake out the 20 whatever minutes of this video is going to be, you could take out 30 seconds of that. You are the Holy Grail. What does that mean? To be in alignment and not battle for anything. Now, when you see that there is an aspect within you that goes at a certain battle or a certain person or a certain circumstance, you now have a vantage point to observe. You have an observation point, kind of like how the hawk will stand on a pedestal and observe, its prey from a above standpoint to see below. It's the same thing. You're taking your focus off of being in that eye-to-eye linear ground level of life as existence and moving up and more of a higher observation mode, and then choosing a course of action from that. Sometimes we have to act at the moment, and that's okay because there's no mistakes or accidents. And you'll also notice that life is living you. You'll notice that, wow, all of these words coming through my mouth right now is just speaking me, the Muriel. And when I stop to think about it for a second, I'm like, wow, I got a camera on me, and I got, all these frequencies coming through me, and it's coming out my mouth, and I can see myself, and I know it's going to, affect many people. And I see the dynamic of this. And so it's a position of vulnerability. And when you step into alignment, the words just come. Like, I'm not battling to choose the next word. Sometimes I'll fuddle with words because the frequencies that come through it, dealing with this mouth, it just flows. And this is your life. You are the flow. There's a flow, and it's you. When you step into alignment, you'll start seeing on a moment-to-moment basis, on a daily basis, that more and more and that which you want to attract to you starts showing up. Because you're in a receptive mode, and you're not focusing on it to muddle it up because you want it so bad. Your intention, which we did a video just yesterday or a couple days ago on agenda, your initial agenda is simply to be in alignment with your heart space. You can't get it wrong. So knowing that, it's already done before you even snap your finger. What we do is we tend to focus on it, and that focus is powerful. The human stare is very potent. And there's some cultures that don't look at you in the eye. There's some peoples that don't do that because they know the potency of what is being said here. Right? We live in a culture now, if you have to face the camera and look the people straight on. I've actually had to learn that because I feel more comfortable not, because I understand the premise of how powerful that stare is. The human mind and its emotions and that focus point is very potent, and it really can create your reality solid. And by using these tools, which are very simple, is just noticing yourself on the best of your ability on a moment-to-moment basis where your emotions are at. If you're feeling good. If you're not feeling good, check it out. What's there? Why are you feeling that way? And the more you get in touch with your emotions, the more then you start realizing that you are in the flow. A message comes that aligns to that in which you desire, to the next step, to the next step. You're actually getting ready and into the receiving mode. So if you're on the path for the first time, it's a little wary, it doesn't seem kind of like, something you can get used to. It's just you're trusting. And it's like riding a bike, you're trusting those training wheels to catch you. And it kind of feels weird too when they're on there and when they get off. So it's trusting the flow that arises, and it's magical. That's why we came here, to live that abundant life, whatever that means to you. Whatever that means to you, that is so important. It's said like that. And to consciously be aware that we are creating it. And you can look at all the manifestations in your life right now, that you consciously, you created that, whether you were conscious or not, right? And this you're consciously aware of now. So maybe you built up a lot of momentum and over the years, and now you're walking on the path here. It takes a little bit. It takes a little reminder, it takes consistency, because if you're really serious about knowing and you're teetering, you're like, well, it works, but I don't know if I trust this. That's it right there. It's taking the plunge, and it's just really going at it, and you'll see that it works. It's 100% guaranteed because it's a law. There's no law of assertion. We can't say that enough. If you go at something and try to assert yourself, you fuddle up the energies. It doesn't mean that things won't manifest. No, because we're creating all the time. We're constantly putting our desires out there, and then after that, the law of attraction takes a hold of it, and it's already done. Okay? And then we get on with what we're doing with something else, and we'll start noticing that the flow starts occurring. We'll be at the right place at the right time. Again, the message will come right where it's needed. You know, the money will come when you needed it. Sometimes it will be so much more than you expected. You know, that whatever you're wanting, there is an energetic field that is always boomerang, like a boomerang. It's always bringing it back to you. Whatever you're doing, negative or positive, because we're vibrational beings. You manifest what you are doing. And that's what we're talking about. This whole walking the path of least resistance is trusting the law of attraction. It's trusting that you are abundance, that there's so many high frequencies that is working right now on your behalf that you can't see. Like you can't see the things you want tomorrow or the next day. It's not in your sphere yet. It's not tangible. You can't touch it. You know, but it's working. It's trusting that, and it takes a little bit, and you start seeing it. Oh, there's one thing there, but then you don't see things for a while. But you still start trusting this. You start trusting it. We're not just saying words. People who talk about this and us, we don't just sit here and make this videos and write books just to throw words out and say, oh, look at, we can be magical beings if we do this. No, we know it for 100% fact that it works. And it's basically the abundance that you really, truly want. We're going to take a breath here. Has always essentially been, you want to feel good most of the time. You came into the world and you knew there would be a point in your life, if you're listening to this video and this message, that you were going to be one of those few people that were going to live happy. You know, even regardless of the conditions. Because you know very well this too shall pass. That is one of the biggest, wonderful medicinal phrases that was offered to us on a platter. And a lot of it's words, and they get thrown out the door, and all these cliches are said, and we just don't look at them anymore. You know, that's very potent. You are the Holy Grail. You are it. You are the big shebang. You are everything, everything. You are made from the stars. You made the stars. You are abundance. This day, this wonderful day, thank you, namaste. Because of you, because of me, we have this day. We all are agreeing upon that this thing called tomorrow is coming, and it always does. It's 100% guaranteed. But for some reason, we can sit behind the scene and have a fear and projection out into what we perceive to be our world, and then have a lens that's between, you know, our real self and the world, and it's a delusional way of seeing. That's the belief systems that have been holding humanity back. That's what we're doing here. Every single human being, man, child, that is alive right now, everyone, man, woman, and child, is going through a shift that has never happened before. And it's really becoming visible. Those of us who have come home to ourselves, who have embodied this wisdom and now speaking it regardless of what people think about us, and we're just going for it. We were doing it for years to come before this. And now the energies and the frequencies are available, and people are starting to feel it. I'm seeing it on a day-to-day basis when I go out and about on my treks into the world. I can see how people are now starting to be affected by these feminine and masculine energies that are shifting, and then the shedding of all these belief systems that we knew to be true to be our identity of who we are. We know that, you know, in the Tao, it said that the soft always overcomes the hard. That right there, there's no law of assertion. There's only law of attraction. And once you trust, you don't have to battle for yourself. And you can apply that to anything that happens in your life. You know, whether it be a challenge with money or a challenge with relationships with other people, you're not arguing for your position. No, in fact, by making space, working in the feminine, because that's what that is, the feminine is making the space for the masculine to come in and fill it. And if you're working with people who are aggressive, who are in that mode of battle, the best thing to do is to get into your receptive mode, go down into your body, breathe, be present as possible, and let them talk. And you'll see that they start answering their own questions. The battle subside. You might not see it right away, depending on how the stronghold is, okay? depending on your individual circumstance. You'll start seeing, because you are a conscious creator. You're consciously creating your environment around you, and you're getting what you're doing inside yourself. It's 100% guaranteed. Try it. Try it. Try it on your friends and family. So you want them to see you in a different way. You don't have to hold yourself in one locked identity, because you are a multidimensional being. Your friends and family are doing it too. And this is the whole coming out, where humanity is going to be living differently with each other, not going to be, walking about as just what their name that they gave as their birth name, and has their friends and family have seen them. People, how can you change when you have projections on you wherever you go on telling you who you are, right? So the Holy Grail is this, that you are it. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to rescue you. You're doing it yourself. You have always been doing it yourself. That was always the wisdom. That was always the messages. Your intimate relationship with God. And I know if you have belief systems like Christian Catholic belief systems, and you know that God is the only one that has the ultimate sovereignty and the human doesn't, again, through this type of conditional way, and humans have been living for a very long time and have been left in the dark about what the true mystics were talking about. And Jesus Christ was a true mystic, and this is what he was saying. And he was talking all about the self. It's all inside of us. The kingdom is within, and that's where God is, and that's within the heart space. You're a kind person. You do kindness to others, first to yourself, because you're no good if you're not kind to yourself. That was the basic, most important teaching of it all. And it was all misconstrued. You be kind to yourself, and then you help others. And so by doing this, the world starts shifting on more of a mode of well-being, and not so fighting for position and fighting for space. And the more that you apply the very simple principles that's in this book, Walking the Path of Least Resistance, within these videos that we're offering here, the more that you align yourself with these very simple principles of how the mind is electrical and charges emotions and then draws an electric magnetic frequency, is called the law of attraction, will deliver that to you. So it takes some time to sit with yourself in quietness and meditation, 5 to 20 minutes, just breathe. It creates space, and it stops the resistant thoughts, and it stops you from cutting off the flow that which could appear in this day. It doesn't have to take months or years for that to manifest in your life. And then you're in receptive mode. You act as if you already have it. How does it feel when you have that lover? Do it now. Touch yourself. Embrace yourself. How does it feel when you have that money in your bank account? What does it feel to have just enough money, or even more so that you have things and you can do things with, you can travel with, you can, share with and expand something with? What does that feel like? What does it feel like when you see people's faces so happy because you did that for them? Whatever you're doing, a sharing community project, what does that feel like? We're emotional beings. We're vibratory beings. Whatever we're feeling, we're drawing that to you. So we get into the feeling of feeling good pretty much all the time. And if you're not, then you, again, go back to the basic principles and you realize what you're doing in there. Check it out. There's nothing that can be put upon anybody else outside the self when you do this. Nothing. In every action, you're taking responsibility for. No one can make you feel any which way. Nobody can make you do anything. So, again, the title of this video is going to be, there's no battles when you're in alignment. But it was better said that you are the Holy Grail. It's a much more capturing title for those who see the video too. What is this? And then they click on it and start listening to this. And you really start understanding it's a very simple process. But it's not simple because we've been living off of the mind, and we've been trusting all the thoughts we've been thinking, and then we give so much thought to the thoughts. And it's just a different way of moving, and it takes practice. You don't just go in to do kung fu moves when you want to do kung fu, or you become a black belt when you want to do karate. It takes a little of this and a little of that. And that's why the coaching's available. And not just myself, but many of my wonderful colleagues are doing it as well. So thank you so much for listening today. And liking this video, subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much, because it helps others to find it as well. And then put your comments down there if you find that this helped you, okay, in any which way. The book is, again, available on Amazon as ebook and paperback and hardcover. It's also available on audio on the YouTube channel. It's my bootleg version of it, me just reading it myself, right? And so, again, thank you for being here. Remain positive. Thank you for shining your light. We are living in extraordinary times. There's things that haven't manifested in your life that's coming, and you're going to surprise yourself. And you're going to feel it. You're feeling it. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. It's coming on because you're in that mode. You're starting to feel it come on. And you're capturing what's over there, because everything happens now. Now, now, now. It's the only place it ever happened. You were born now, live now, die now. That means that everything you've ever done happens now. And you can just reach for it through your feeling of it. Dreams help too. Not all of us remember our dream activity, but that also captures a way of tapping into this flow of the circular movement of creation. It's not linear. You know, we don't live and then we move a linear and then go off into the mind just goes, I don't know what happens after when I die. I don't know. The mind doesn't have responsibility for that. So it's nice. The human shouldn't have any responsibility for that. So be kind to yourself. Be gentle. Affirmations. It's a beautiful day. It always is. Every day is a good day, even though there's contrast. So we take our time and we sit with ourselves and breathe. And this too shall pass. Again, thank you for being here. Namaste.